let's talk about this video. Okay, some context, groundwork in place. So this is a new creator I've only just found called Peter Coffin. Okay, I have checked out a bit of their channel just to be like a bit more of aware, because I don't like platforming anyone that I don't know about, but they seem to be very much in BreadTube on the left. However, they are known to be a bit of a contrarian, according to some of just their previous like videos and stuff. This take on the Hbomberguy situation, which many of you would have found my channel through, which I'm very grateful for, was just a little bit too contrarian for me. Oh, okay. So Bunny says, lol, yeah, they've had bad takes in the past. I've never heard about this person, so by all means let me know if anything else I should be... Oh, really? Very, very bad, lol. Interesting. I don't know about this person. So Bunny, what do you know? Tell me the tea.
Are there any YouTubers who've done like something justifiably hateable? Something really easy to get people to hate? I don't know, something where there's like a law or something that we don't interrogate because we've naturalized it and act as though it's just simply an inherent thing that's wrong, that they're you know, crossing the line on. What's this? An Hbomberguy video about YouTube plagiarists. All right. And I know that you're thinking to yourself, okay, all right, like a good little YouTube viewer, I clicked your video, I clicked like, I subscribed, I rang the bell, I did all that stuff.
I didn't do all of that stuff.
Tell me this insane opinion you have about how plagiarism is awesome. And, well...
It was clickbait.
It's not. It's not a cool thing to do. But over the course of this video, I'm going to ask you to consider an alternative view. It's not really so much that it is a good or a bad thing, but instead a result of circumstances and conditions. Now, Hbomberguy starts by showing us...
I got just a mini YouTube rant, which I guess we all have. This is all a bit. But I really don't like when people these days openly use clickbait as a tactic and then admit it in the first 30 seconds and then are like, but anyway, stick around because I've just clickbaited you here and I want you to talk about something else. That kind of is starting to get me. I've seen that a lot in good and bad circles, and it's just like, if you... I know YouTube is a dastardly game, and I get it. I'm playing it myself. I play it with every thumbnail. I don't put myself in my thumbnails now, as you'll all know, because no one knows my face, and if my video does well, people don't know me. But I really don't like the like, hey, thanks for clicking, please like and subscribe. I just clickbaited you. This has nothing to do with that topic, but I want to talk about my haircut. And it's like, people, come on. I watched one recently. It was like the real sad face, and it was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was literally a video about asking what content they should do and that their viewers would enjoy. I was like, come on. No. That is probably not the biggest problem with this video. Just had to say it, okay? They are not on a great start.
Of some authors who took it to the man and won. He notes to us that this happens almost never. And he says to us, that's just what you gotta expect.
You can spend ages on a unique video with an original idea, and a way more popular guy can rip it off, along with its thumbnail, get a bajillion views and rake in the cash. On YouTube, if you have an original idea, if it's good, it won't be yours for long.
Why?
Again, contextualizing that in the 4-hour episode, Hbomberguy there is preluding to this entire discussion and is currently talking about the state of affairs with YouTube and the ecosystem that it is. He's not saying an opinion of it yet. That comes later in the other 4 hours of the episode. This is very much like Hbomberguy saying, this is what's happening. This is a social problem we have. So far, I wouldn't even say that's Hbomberguy's opinion of plagiarism. It's just a statement of what the current situation is.
Why does that happen? So 4 hours later, he tells you,
why do people plagiarize? We've talked a lot of superficials in this video, wanting money or prestige or clout or to get one over on your enemies by jacking their stuff, but these are small things. There's other ways of getting those. The reason humans copy like this, I think, goes a bit deeper. We don't exactly live in a world built for humans, do we? There's no guidebook for happiness or success or a sense of place in the world, and the people claiming to have one for you are really just trying to sell you something. We spend most of our little lives struggling to make these feelings fade away, or find something to placate them. It's either ennui, or being ennuied. I know it's a little pretentious, but we're all searching for a sense of meaning and purpose in our lives, and those things are hard to come by. There's a little bit of nothing in all of us, and we'd like to fill it with something. Opening your web browser and seeing someone who seems to have it figured out, making you feel better and entertaining you, and seeming to attract an audience on this roulette wheel of a planet, that's powerful. There's someone who seems to understand what they're supposed to be doing, and it's working. That's all anyone really wants. Sure, in retrospect, a bunch of people wanting to be exactly like the AVGN sounds silly, but he knew who he was. He was the angriest gamer you've ever heard. We can laugh, in fact, you're supposed to, but that's a human being with purpose. There's someone who's not anxious about their place in the world anymore. It's very difficult not to want that completeness for yourself, not to just be like someone, but to be them, to attain that sense of knowing.
All right, so there is some truth in what he's saying. There is a lack of meaning in the world. That's true, right? That's not false. But plagiarism is not the plot of Highlander, okay? You don't kill them to become them. That's not it. That's not how war is. That's not how this is. Battles that are fought in the real world are fought over material conditions, right? And the same thing goes for plagiarism. But that's not what's discussed in the 4-hour runtime of this video. In fact, the closest that Hbomb gets to discussing intellectual property law or IP law, the actual issue at hand, the formalized reason that plagiarism exists, the only discussion of that, and it's quite sparse, but the only discussion of that in this video takes a very naturalistic stance towards law. Law exists. Here's the thing about law. Law is neither natural or neutral. It's the product of systems of power. That is...
Okay, I do agree. Oh, God, I'm scared to say this. With regards to how laws and systems and stuff in place only benefiting the richer class, I agree a lot. Like, the law, the police institutions, the legal system. Oh my gosh, we need to talk about the Do We Know Them podcast. Oh my God, that's coming soon. But, like, I get that so far. I don't agree with a lot of what this person has already said, but, like, okay, I have a lot to say about YouTubers and creators, though. I really do. I might cry.
Systems, the structures that dictate how the world runs. Laws come from that. So, who is the ruling class in capitalism? It's the capitalists. So, who does the law ultimately serve? Well, the ruling class, the capitalists. But even by answering a few simple questions, we get into talking about systems. And that's not what Hbomb wants to do.
I'm not smart enough to know what we're supposed to do about plagiarism. I think trying to fix it in any systemic way could risk making it worse. Let's imagine YouTube introduced some kind of plagiarism claim system. We'd be expecting someone at YouTube to be able to decide whether something is plagiarism or not. And I don't like the idea of YouTube having any more power than they already have.
So in my...
This clip that this creator just played of Hbomberguy, though, even taking it in bad faith is one thing, but I feel like I don't think that that's even, like, there's bad faith and then there's just kind of misrepresentation. I'm sorry. Like,
two major problems with this. The first one, the obvious one, he just outright discourages looking at this systemically. He straightforwardly says, don't even think about fixing this systemically. I think he does that because this is a 4-hour goddamn video and he doesn't talk about systems.
Okay, so my main point of that is going to be, he doesn't have to. Okay, as a creator, he can talk about what he wants for 4 hours. And yes, we have creative responsibility for sure. Fact checking, representation, all of these things. But if Hbomberguy wants to make a 4-hour video calling out plagiarists, he has a very much a right to do that. And if he wants to just purposefully say, I don't have all the answers, I am not going to give my opinion as to what I should do about plagiarism and the bigger systematic issues, then he doesn't have to do that. The main theme I saw when I pre-watched some of this was that, like, I am very much the kind of creator that puts her hand up when she doesn't know stuff. I am literally earlier in the stream educated by a certain situation. I'm happy to be, and I am not up my own personality enough to think I have all of the answers and that no one can. I was watching a stream the other day. I won't say who it was, okay? They were in the comments. They were reading the comments and someone was like, oh my God, you're so right. And they were fully like, yeah, I know I'm right. Of course I'm right. I had to put my pearl necklace on just to clutch it. I was like, oh my God, I would never be that confident. Oh my God. Like, good for you. Be confident. Know you're right about certain things. I know I'm right about some things, about things to do with me. But like, I was shooketh. I was like, wow. So with this creator, it's like, you can't push your expectations of what to create on Hbomberguy. You can hold them accountable for sure. Our generation do that fantastically. I have a right to not play anything from J.K. Rowling's brand. I choose to not do that. But I would never say to J.K. Rowling, you should make a book about someone that's not transphobic. I don't think I have the right to do that. I think that is up to her. Like, and so this is the line I think is being crossed. Like, I get a lot of like, let me make it clear that is different to accountability, and that is different from being our best selves as creators. I think that there is a responsibility to do that for sure. But I don't think there was anything on Hbomberguy to have a miraculous answer to the largest systemic issues of plagiarism. And like, you can do if you want to, but I'm not saying that like he doesn't have that. I'm saying that he's not obliged to have the answer to something he's talking about. Can we normalize the idea of talking about things that we don't have all the answers to and learning as we go and opening a larger discussion exactly like Hbomberguy did and including all of these different people? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Again, I'm doing it here right now, but let me know if I have missed the mark. Like, yeah, but to really, well, there's more. We'll come back. We'll come back.
I'm parading around examples of people doing plagiarism on YouTube and saying #do better. It's important that individuals take more responsibility here. And anytime he even vaguely approaches the border of individual responsibility, he tiptoes up to it, looks down, has a nervous look on his face, and he turns around and he marches right back, because if I go any further, I'm going to sound like Peter Coffin. No, but I have to assume that he turns his ass back around every time he gets close to that border, because it's a 4-hour video. There is absolutely zero chance that over the months that it took him to make this video, it never occurred to him that we could go deeper, that we could talk about systems. He had to come up with something at the end to justify why he didn't talk about the economic system. That's what that is. Now, the point of my video isn't, hey, Hbomberguy's a baddie because he doesn't do the right things according to what I think. I'm not calling Hbomb a baddie here. I'm not trying to direct you towards attacking him. I'm just not that kind of creator, okay? And whether Hbomb is or isn't, this video is that type of video. It's pointing out a bunch of baddies out there for you to hate, for you to dislike, for you to go after and attack.
No, I'm sorry. BS, bad faith. You're not even giving the viewers their own ability to make a decision on the facts presented to them. And that's insulting AF. I'm sorry. Hbomberguy set out a statement of facts that have been happening. A situation that was ongoing and that was undocumented and that needed bringing to light for fairity to the people that have been abused under the system, leaving the watcher of the 4-hour video to make up their own minds. I actually think he didn't go as hard as he could have. Hbomberguy could have very much said more. But like, the insulting element of like, he's telling you to hate him. It's like, well, or did a whole bunch of people just dislike James Somerton after what it was brought to light that James Somerton did. There are people that are still defending him. There are people that are defending the natural historian. Like, that is okay, that's their right. They've been presented with them facts and they can choose to do what they want with them. Like, I think that being told he's Hbomberguy can't win, basically. It's like, if you get that big, then you're just basically tone policed in what you should and shouldn't have done. And I think it's easy to think of Hbomberguy as an institution and as a brand and as a channel with millions of subscribers. But let's not forget, Hbomberguy is still a person in charge of a few people that make videos. And I think that bringing to light an issue is a fantastic step to systematically changing it and preventing it, for sure. But like, nor does the responsibility lie on him to have an answer. I actually really had admiration for how he kept a single narrative going of like, I'm just bringing you the facts. This is actually happening. I think it's immoral. Make up your own mind. And then people made up their own mind. I don't think that there's an innate, like, I don't think people should be like self-righteous enough to assume they always have an answer to everything. I tried to not be like that. I don't have an answer to everything. That's problematic.
I think that's what it is. Here's Hbomberguy's producer saying, "Hey team, I made a post for all of you to post your additional plagiarism discoveries and recommend excellent queer YouTubers so we can get our plans in motion." You see, what this is a Reddit post that makes sure you know it's positive by recommending some good queer YouTubers first, and then make space for the juice. What's the juice, you might ask? Well, it's a list of people to cancel. It's internet historian who's a big baddie.
A list of people to cancel is the most bad faith take. It's a list of people that have been suspected for plagiarism. And that doesn't mean that they've been proved. And this clip goes on to later talk about like mis-allegations. And I agree, like the witch hunt element isn't ideal. But again, I don't have all the answers. Hey, she's doing it. She's standing up for what she's saying. But honestly, this creator is giving pure jealousy that they can't make a post that gets that much attention, that they can't make videos as good as Hbomberguy. Like, the constant need to bring bad faith arguments to what is innately like a good situation. I mean, net positive at very least. What Hbomberguy has done for the platform, scaring other plagiarists out of the limelight and making them think twice about doing it. Like, honestly, like I think that's a net positive. I don't know. I know that from a lot of people that have commented on my videos talking about the James Somerton situation, that they feel that it was good that they got that brought to light to them now, because if they had had that information earlier, they wouldn't have supported James in the same financial way. And so let's not forget, it's all great and good for Peter Coffin to do a bad faith contrarian take because it gets them views and clicks and it's hilarious. But there are people that financially invested in James Somerton's GoFundMes and patrons and stuff, and they didn't have the facts about this level of plagiarism in James Somerton's work. And when that was brought to light, they made the decision to pull that funding, which I think is very much in their right. The Ace couple that we talked about last week, I think I got the numbers wrong, and it was only like $1,200, not $15,000, which was completely just mishearing their podcast. But like, they talked about how like they haven't had their money's worth. They gave to something that they didn't know they were giving. I mean, that's the mistake that they made because they were lulled into it by James himself. But like, when money's on the line, especially, let alone our time and our attention and who we choose to watch and everything, I think that there is a lot to be said for like bringing the truth to light, basically. Like if you were watching this now and I was secretly a right-wing mole on the scene to try and like throw people off, that would hurt a lot of people's feelings here, because they watch me, they trust me, they believe in my character and the channel and what I believe in. And there's a good thing about that. I really do believe so. So let's not beat around the bush. Deceit happened. Lies happened. Plagiarism isn't just about like copyright and fair use and, oh, you're reacting to my clip, make sure it's good. It's like there was full on articles read from start to finish in a row of different queer creators, from someone that was standing up allegedly for queer creators. It's unheard of. I don't take a bad faith contrarian point here lightly. I really don't.
Baddie. We a Boss is a baddie. Johnny Harris is a baddie. Internet historian is still a baddie. I guess James Stephanie Sterling is both a baddie and a queer creator worth recommending. Oh, and an internet historian, also a baddie. Of course, Tumblr picked up on the whole hashtag do better message and really went for it. Internet historians alt-right anyways. Great day to have never liked James Somerton. Never even heard of Illuminati before this, LOL. That's great, buddy, but don't go around thinking you're immune to this. If you're not looking for plagiarism, you likely won't notice it unless it's egregiously obvious. Hell, you've probably consumed plagiarized content without realizing it. Oh, you're the baddie. You need to hashtag do better with your content consumption, folks, okay? Even Hbomb pointed out that these people disguised what they presented pretty well, as long as you didn't try and dig deeper. Don't come away just thinking of this as a call-out piece. Take this as an important lesson about vetting your sources. If Googling scripts and quotes was enough to expose the original, we should all start doing this shit. So remember how a few seconds ago I said that the laws of a society are generally set up to protect the ruling class of a society, in our case, in capitalism, the capitalists. Intellectual property law doesn't actually really protect, like, individual creators. It protects the class that owns everything. Now,
Okay, now... I don't know about that. What if you had... like a co-op or any freelance artist or creator that had their work stolen from a larger corporation? I'm generally thinking out that. What if, like, I don't know, HBO stole my, like, plagiarized my thing and I sued them and I made a bunch of money? But then would that make me the capitalist? Oh, I don't know. We're getting into philosophy now, but this is where they get to this, like, leftist contrarian take. I got a lot to say. I'm sorry, we got a lot to listen to.
Qualitatively, if you are the owning class, if your relationship to means of production is owning, that means you are the bourgeoisie, the ruling class. How we're talking about laws right now very easily maps onto that, but it's not just qualitatively that it works. It also works quantitatively, even within the subordinate class. If you're a creator with less resources than the person stealing from you, you're probably shit out of luck.
If you're a creator with less resources than the person stealing from you, then you're probably out of luck. Okay, unless there is a system in which that protects you. This is a genuine socialist question. At the moment, the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, hold the means of production, and that's the issue, because they're extorting wealth through extorting labor from the workforce. Okay, so in the case of a creator like myself, I don't own the means to production, and I don't like own YouTube, but I do own my IP and my branding, hypothetically. So doesn't that system still benefit me? But then I'm not extorting anyone, am I? Oh God, I'm confused. Socialist confusion. But anyway, again, this is a bad faith take that we're also getting sidetracked on. But I don't think that just claiming means of production is an argument here, because ideally, people being able to create content for a living and owning that content and the means of that monetization is a step towards socialism, surely. And so the ecosystem of YouTube, while of course it's very capitalist and not perfect, it's still much more close to me owning my own means of production than, for example, working in a job for a restaurant and never ever getting anywhere near to owning even the coffee mug I'm pouring from. So I also still have autonomy as to where I put the content. I choose to use YouTube because it's best for me at the moment. I have copyright of all of my stuff. People can use it for free things, but like, it's my content. I don't know. Like, am I missing something here? At the end of the day, there is no ethical consumption under the capitalism. I get that completely. But like, I also don't think I really advocate for a world where like we have no things, like where it's like a communism which would be good, but no one has like, there's no content creators. Everyone's just a farmer, or like everyone has to do a different kind of job. Like, I think it would be great if we could still so do things we enjoy. And I have faith that, like, say I were, I worked in a shop one day, I worked in a hospital helping out one day, I worked on a farm another day, and then the other 4 days of the week I get to do what I want, like, and have enough money to do that. Like, to me, that's kind of what I would love to see. I know it's far cry, and that's not the most communist take I've ever heard, and I understand that, but like, I don't know, like, does that make sense? God, I'm gonna get myself so cancelled. I'm so scared. Anyway, let's watch a bit more. But this rambling continues, and they don't win me over, I've got to say.
Says that explicitly in this video. We actually started off with this quote, but I want to play it again real quick.
You can spend ages on a unique video with an original idea, and a way more popular guy can rip it off, along with its thumbnail, get a bajillion views, and rake in the cash. On YouTube, if you have an original idea, if it's good, it won't be yours for long.
Here's the problem. Anytime he mentions intellectual property law, copyright law, anytime he mentions that, it's just about how it is enforced, specifically badly, how it's enforced badly. But then he goes on to tell us that if there were more tools for enforcement, that would also be bad.
I think trying to fix it in any systemic way could risk making it worse.
So ultimately, all that we can ever really have is just the bad people out there, the bigger creators,
the way more popular guy,
not the media companies, not the platforms, not the owners of everything, not those people, but people who make content. Those people need to just behave better.
No, again, I'm misunderstanding this, but don't the people that make that content technically then own it themselves? And also, what this creator is forgetting is that people have their own responsibility in the content they consume. And by bringing to light non-ethical creators that are for example, plagiarizing, people get given that fact and can make their own decisions as to what kind of content they consume. Therefore, this exact point that this creator is trying to make against Hbomberguy is coming to the conclusion as to why it makes no sense, because Hbomberguy is very much giving people that information and saying, hey, you just might want to know these creators are plagiarizing, and if you're not okay with that unethical level of content creation, then avoid them at all costs, like we decided to do with J.K. Rowling for being a TERF and for all of the other, like, essay issue people and stuff like that. Like, that's what the right consider cancel culture, because they've always had the monopoly on content creation for, like, we used to only have like 5 channels on TV. You didn't really get to cancel anything. You only get 4 channels to watch. But these days we have much more of a democratization of content, of views, to quote something Squid Tip said with me in a conversation. And actually that's why YouTube is, I would say, a fairer version of this situation, still under a huge capitalist lens, of course, and it's not ideal, but the fact that we can make more of a decision now is surely a move towards a more leftist mindset than the complete monopolization of problematic content. And what I can't understand is what this person is providing as an alternative, and the absolute irony of calling out someone for not providing a systematic answer without providing a systematic answer yourself, I think is quite on the nose.
And make a video that's decent and it gets more traffic than anything else on your channel, and some bigger creator sees it, rips you off, and has a huge success, well, guess what? That is their work now. And that's just how things are.
That is different to plagiarism, though, and stealing someone's idea and reworking it is, I think, bad, but that is different to plagiarism. That's different to me writing an article and someone changing a few words and reading out that article on a video. It doesn't really even matter about who's the bigger creator. I don't want to be plagiarized by a smaller creator. Like, I don't think that it comes down to size and money and stuff. That adds a level of immorality for sure. But plagiarism is still plagiarism. And I think the fact that this creator is focusing on that shows how they are only really considering this is a massive popularity contest, and they're kind of just jealous of Hbomberguy's views. That is what I feel. That is what comes across in my opinion. But like, if plagiarism, there's a difference between taking someone's idea and plagiarism as well, because if you take someone's idea, even if you take it quite obviously and quite on the nose, you are still making it your own just innately by being your own character and everything like that. In the example that this creator keeps showing up that Hbomberguy used, it was that Brent character that, like, basically stole the thumbnail almost like, you know, exactly. Sorry, I'm grinding because I'm stressed. Then like that's stealing of an idea for sure, but plagiarizing goes as far as like frame by frame copying that video, like, or stealing it, playing it over with a filter and like reading out the script again from scratch like Illuminati did. Like that's different to copyright and like copying an idea and doing it in your own way, which I think are different. I'm not saying the systems in place are perfect by any means. I'm saying that Hbomberguy shouldn't be held to the same level of accountability of like having to answer for them and come up with an excuse or a means to answer that. Like, I don't think that is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Of course, it would have been great if Hbomberguy could have, but like, I don't know. I'm not being clear because, as Robert Smith just said in the chat, Peter is not being clear here. So I'm not really coming back with a really good answer. So I'm sorry if you're listening and it just sounds like wild rambles, because it is just that at the moment.
Not plagiarism is good or bad doesn't really matter. Whether or not it's cool to repeat things other people say without crediting them is, I mean, that's an individual moral stance. I don't really give a shit. People rip me off all the goddamn time. People have been doing it for years. And if I was angry about that all day, every day, you know what? I would never not be angry, because people always do it. People are making videos like this based on shit I've said for years. And then there's other people who take shit that I have said and warp it so that it's something that services their agenda and makes them sound smart when they have a totally different point than what I wanted to put across. They're stealing things for their own benefit.
No, sorry, again, that's the difference between transformative and plagiarism. You don't seem to be understanding that. Someone listening to what you've said and rewording it and understanding it and saying an opinion is very different to me, word for word, reading out the transcript of this video and expecting to do well from it. That is absolutely different. And I'm sorry, if you can't see the difference of that, then I don't know why we're talking here. Like, also this person does kind of does strike me as someone that does seem to be a bit upset by what's happening. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Do you want to know why plagiarism even matters at all? It's systemic incentives. Why aggregate content rather than create it? Well, creativity is labor. It takes energy and focus and time. Aggregating content, yes, it does take those things, but to a lesser extent. And not only does it take less of those things, but it's content that's already proven itself. And understanding that, it becomes pretty easy to see why people plagiarize. It's because it benefits them. Duh.
I mean, duh, right back at you. I think we all know that. Surely? Is that not, like, obvious? I don't think it was ever in question as to why people plagiarize.
Is to create videos that get as many people as possible to watch it as quickly as you can. Why would that not incentivize plagiarism? But plagiarism is against the rules. Clearly, they don't want to incentivize that. It doesn't matter. Those rules don't matter. The rules are just formalities created to protect the bourgeoisie when they need protecting. The one example of authors getting recourse against a corporation to demonstrate how nobody gets that done should tell you all about the laws. But instead, we need a baddie list. We need people to cancel. Because you know what? That creates a lot of engagement, and it makes you seem like a crusader for good. The reason plagiarism happens in the mode that it does is because it's incentivized and rewarded. The only way to address those things is by changing the system, not by asking people to behave better. And that
I've got a backache. Okay. What? What? I'm trying to follow them here, but they've just repeated a whole bunch of stuff we knew. We know why people plagiarize. They can't create it themselves or they're lazy. But so we can't just call them out on it. We have to change the systems to do so. I can't wait to hear their suggestion as to how we should change these systems then. If they're going to call out Hbomberguy on 4-hour videos to not giving us an answer about how to systematically prevent and change plagiarism, I cannot wait to hear what Peter has to say about that. I'm so excited for them.
Critique is stupid. It is ill-informed. It is counterproductive. It is something that makes things not change. Now, me making a video on a subject isn't going to change the problem. And I want to draw a very important distinction between what I just said and this.
I'm not smart enough to know what we're supposed to do about plagiarism.
When you get up and you say, look, I don't really know what to do about this, what you're doing is retreating from your criticism. Criticism is self-evidently what needs to be done. If there's a thing that's happening that's bad, then by doing the criticism, you're saying that thing needs to stop. Then when you say, look, I don't really know what needs to be done, you're retreating. You didn't go far enough with the criticism if you don't know what you're supposed to do.
Or are you a human being and owning up to the fact that you don't have the answer to everything? Not to sound like I'm being too nice to Hbomberguy, but let's normalize not knowing all the answers and not thinking that we're an asshole that knows everything. Oh, cheeky.
Of course, an individual can't solve the problem on their own. Duh. We need people with a functioning critique working together, engaging with power.
Like on a Reddit post where people are engaging together that unified have the power to make changes. Yeah, like Hbomberguy did.
Oh, guys, after 4 fucking hours is just nihilist horse shit. If you did your job, yes, you do know what we have to do. You don't know exactly where it's going to land. You don't know what the future is going to look like, but you know what the problem is, and you know that we, the people, need the power to address that contradiction. You need a mob of people that knows their shit. That's the solution, friends. But no, it's sensationalist blame machine media. That's what this is. I foment a fandom around myself by pointing out the baddies to feel better than. Roblox.wave is the same goddamn thing. It's a bunch of people who did a bad thing that you're not supposed to like. Hell, Bloodborne is awesome and here's why is the same thing. It's telling you that you're bad at Dark Souls because you're using shields. You should use shields, you dumbass.
Wasn't it the opposite, actually? In the Bloodborne video, it was saying not to use shields. I'm just saying. Unless they're being ironic, I don't know. But I really don't get the rambling of what they're trying to do. I really don't. Like, I really am like... I also think that they did hint towards what they think the answer should be, but it was something close to like giving people information about what's happening, which A, that is not an answer about systematically how we can prevent plagiarism, and B, Hbomberguy has done better than you have with this video, and like, what? Oh gosh.
Pathologic, Hbomb made a long-ass video about how you're enjoying art the wrong way, rather than advocating for why something is good. The video Pathologic, for people who will never play it, which Hbomb probably considers plagiarism, is a significantly better video than his own because it understands that there is good content within that game. However, the way it is presented, both mechanically, visually, and any other factors, are things that will keep certain people from getting anywhere near it, and instead uses the medium of YouTube to attempt to show people those ideas and that content with a different perspective.
Did you just see the random kid in the background? That was really creepy. Oh my god, that was really creepy. Imagine just... Imagine being at home and your parent is just like randomly just streaming, chatting. Sorry, I need to chill. There's just this random kid walking in the background like, oh, parents at it again. It's really funny. Just saying though. Just saying. Don't come for me. I haven't seen the pathological video of the Hbomberguy channel. I have watched the Bloodborne one, loved it, and I have watched the Roblox.wave video, whatever it's called. But did no one see the kid? I have to go back and show you. It was really creepy. Unless it didn't exist and I'm going crazy. Oh my god. The Bloodborne video, to me, and this is how I took the media, because we all take media differently, Peter, was what's my promise? What am I doing? I've lost it. You know, when the stream gets to past 3 hours, I lose my absolute marbles. This is when the funny stuff happens. Stick around. I've done it again. Oh my god, stop. The video about Bloodborne was a game critique video, in my opinion, that used the narrative of using a shield throughout all of the games in the software, like From Software, I think it's called From Software or something, like titles and stuff like that. All of the games by that creator, that game publisher, to like portray the narrative of like the idea behind the get good philosophy. I found that to be a really good narrative tool to explain, for anyone that doesn't have context. Basically, it's just this about these games that you are very different to normal kind of fighter games, and you have to like, or action games are probably called, and like if you join into it hesitantly and try and choose your way through, you're not going to really get good, and if you don't really get good, you're not going to actually enjoy the game, and there's a whole big thing. But like, I don't think that Peter seems to have understood that and has just taken the arguments given by Hbomberguy at face value without some media literacy that allows them to look deeper into the meaning behind that. And so I would say, if that happened once, maybe it's the case again, and that they are not quite understanding the overarching subtext of the plagiarism video, and that they're calling for this sense of like, let's bring the people together and change things systematically, but also like how I want to, and like how Hbomberguy did it wasn't good enough. I think actually what Hbomberguy has done that. I think like people have come together and started to call out plagiarism. People have come together and shared smaller creators. It's been fantastic for a lot of channels, and I think this person's just a bit salty that it hasn't been good for theirs. Anyway, Jan Durin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Oh, thank you. Do use shields to protect yourself from trying to make good faith sense out of Peter Coffin, unlike Souls games. That's tea. That's actually really funny. That made me chuckle. Thank you for the genuine giggle and the chat. And thank you so much. I've never seen Peter Coffin before this, so this is a new experience for me. Merry Cringemas to everyone. This is a whole Cringemas stream. I'm going to change the title to Matriarchtype Cringemas. I really want to have a something New Year crappy. No, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek. Merry Cringemas.
Tell you that's what his video does, but no, it tells you that you're wrong in how you enjoy art. You're wrong. You don't know what you're doing. Unless you do, and then come on in, the water's fine. Join the Hbomb fandom. Become a patron. You'll see the videos before anyone else does. Now, as much as it is fun and cathartic to have a nice dunk at the expense of Hbomb, it's really important that you understand Hbomb is not the problem, nor am I really even mad at him individually. I don't like the fact that he makes this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it at all, Peter. It doesn't come across that you're mad at him individually. I really believe you.
Like the fact that it's about blaming and shaming and creating ideologies that divert people away from systemic thinking. I don't like that stuff, and I am pointing out that he individually is making that kind of stuff, but that's not really the problem at the core. The problem is the system of capitalism in its imperial stage, a global system built on top of a contradiction that Frederick Engels so simply summarized in Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific. A mode in which production has been socialized. However, the mode of appropriation is retained from the feudal system. So we have private appropriation of product and therefore profit. I am explicitly saying that capitalism is the problem. And it didn't even take me 4 hours.
Okay, a bit smarmy at the end there, but at least we got the answer that we were looking for. So wait, what? I might have to watch that again. Let's watch that last bit again.
The mode of appropriation is retained from the feudal system.
I'm so sorry, I don't know everything. Can someone explain that to me? The mode of appropriation is retained from the feudal system, but the means of production are socialized. Now, I get the means of production are socialized, for anyone that's following along. So, 30. Oh, capitalism is bad. Hot take. I love that. So, can someone explain to me about that again? I really do want to get it. Because I have been dunking on this person the whole time, being like, come on then, give us an answer. And this is their attempt at an answer, and I want to understand it. Some new peeps in the chat, though. Hi, everyone. I hope you're here and that you're okay and I'm doing all right. I'm really self-conscious. I don't quite think I get it. Also, I did want to say, let's not forget that Hbomberguy doesn't necessarily... I mean, okay, things have probably changed, but I was watching a whole bunch of Hbomberguy stuff, and he did say, like, I've just been put in breadtube, like, I don't claim to know, like, everything. Like, let's not forget, just because someone has a larger sub count or a big following or their videos do well, that doesn't make them the master of everything and that they have all of the answers. Like, no one should feel pressure to have to know everything, even in topics that they're passionate about or anything. Unless they say they know everything, Jordan Peterson, then, like, you know, fact check and know what you're talking about. But like, for the fact that Hbomberguy is saying like I don't have all the answers, and then it's being come against for like not having all the answers, I think is a bit unfair. Someone that doesn't always have the answers, I get scared of the idea that like I should do. Like, I'm just a person on the internet that you're choosing to watch. Like, call me out though. There's a responsibility, like I said, and there's accountability to like what we're saying, the truth behind it, and genuineness and stuff like that. And obviously not plagiarizing, but like that's different from like, hey, if you're going to talk about this thing, you need to know everything about it. And if you say something that I know to not be true, then you are dead to me. That's a bit different. Anyway, am I right in thinking that you can still have private ownership of things, even in communism? It's not like the kind of the anti-communist people would like have you believe, where it's like, you know, you can't even own a pen, you know, it's not like that. But it's the means of production that should be socialized, so that there is no exploitation of of labor, and that no one can make disproportionate profit, which I am so for. Like, but the thing that gets me then, like, would then, so in small pockets of where that happens in capitalism, like a co-op coffee shop where all of the staff have an equal share of the business, or Nebula, where the creators own or even a portion of the business, that's at least leaning closer to the means of production being owned by the labour workforce. How can you then still call them out for being not socialist enough? That really bugs me when people do that, which I see kind of a lot. Liska saying personal ownership, not private. Yeah, okay, that's right. So I personally own this phone, although even that was probably unethically created and had a lot of labour exploited to get there. Oh, it really is really hard. It makes me sometimes just really like sad and cry. I don't want to get sad, but like there's literally nothing we can do. Oh, don't. Whew. Right, in communism, a village has only one chair and they take turns sitting down.
Appropriation of product and therefore profit. I am explicitly saying that capitalism is the problem. And it didn't even take me 4 hours. Hope you have a nice day.
That was the most obvious take ever. But okay, so then they released this.
Well, hey, everybody, it's Peter Coffin. So a lot of people really don't like that I said that Hbomb did not do a good job criticizing plagiarism.
You could say that your video Hbombed. I'm sorry, I'm really tired.
Why people are saying this is because they like when individual plagiarists get punished. That's really what they want to do about plagiarism. But here's why I think it's important to make the kind of video I made about it. Well, there's two reasons, and they're kind of both linked. The first one is that when you don't address something systemically, all you essentially do is play whack-a-mole forever.
Disagree. Logic fallacy. I completely disagree. Like, hypothetically, if you were to call out everyone and therein prevent them from doing something, you would also resolve the issue, because you would have prevented everyone from doing the thing, hypothetically. So that's not true. You also would be preventing other people from wanting to do it because they know they would get called out and cancelled or whatever. Say, hold on, no, that's not even true. Okay, not a great start again. Peter, you need to script, man.
Guy from taking advantage of a situation to meet incentives and get rewarded for it, you take him down, then another person who previously wasn't successful as him will continue to do it and become as successful as him. And that's the second part of the whack-a-mole thing. Essentially, by making plagiarism the focus and disposing of a guy, specifically a queer guy, we'll talk more about that in a second, Hbomb made a video that just directs a bunch of people to spin their wheels, play whack-a-mole. And when people play whack-a-mole, they realize that whack-a-mole can be a lot of fun. So they go looking for moles that aren't on the board. On my Substack, I wrote a companion piece for my first video, and I talked a little bit about how they've established basically a witch hunt with this. A guy by the name of Ben...
No, I'm sorry, I tried. I can't do it. I don't have it in me. That was so, like, I had a bad faith take and everyone came for me. So I'm going to talk about that bad faith take. About everyone is just clout gobbling and just making content out of nothing. So this is my second video on the topic. Like, no. I'm sorry. No. But the manicure is real, people. As she did it herself. Let's do the updates. Because that's what we're all here for, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. So, as many of you will know, so a couple days ago now, I had a kind link pinged to me by Casey in the chat, who said, James Somerton's just released an apology video. Maybe you could react to it. And I was ready to go out. I was actually visiting the coffee manufacturer that day. So I was like, hey, I'm ready. I've got everything I need. Let's jump on live stream. We'll react to it, see how it goes. And that is the video now that has done really well. And subsequent to that, James Somerton then deleted that video, almost famously already. And so that meant that my video was kind of one of the main ways you could see it. There were a couple of other uploaded versions, but that kind of meant a lot of people watched it. And it's really nice to see the feedback from people that I got in the comments saying, you handled this really well. A good part of like not letting the gaslighting happen, but equally being respectful, because he's clearly not okay, not in a great place, which is understandable, but it's a repercussion. He's not feeling okay because of the actions he took, and the apology had a lot to be a lot missing. JS Agenda released something quite honestly quite after, saying like, you haven't actually said much. Many people noticed he hadn't said the word plagiarism once. So yeah, so there's a lot to unpack. Go and watch that if you haven't, but I'm going to just be talking about kind of the aftermath of that, and from like a little bit from my perspective of the video, and then also just other stuff I've been finding out around. So let's get into that first and foremost. So NBC News has picked it up. This was shared in my Discord chat, I think by Sharon. Thank you so much for dropping this. So NBC News has picked up the update of James Somerton releasing the video, apologizing, and then deleting it, which is tea, because like they're a fully fledged news article. This is big news. So I won't go too far into this, but it says a YouTuber was accused of plagiarism. His apology highlighted a larger issue among creators, one that I take responsibly, honestly. Video essayist James Somerton was among several people Harris Brewis, known as Hbomberguy on YouTube, called out in a viral video. So I'll read a couple paragraphs because it is tea. 2 weeks after accusations of plagiarism rocked many in the YouTube community, a creator who was at the center of the controversy spawned even more backlash after he deleted an apology video within hours of having posted it. James Somerton, a Canadian YouTuber known for video essays about queer literature, had over 330,000 subscribers before Harris Brewis, known as Hbomberguy on YouTube, accused him and others of repeated pattern of plagiarism in a 4-hour-long video that was amassed over 10 million views. So it goes into basically what happened. It was a 34-minute apology video, which you can see me reacting to. There's one without background music, which is the live version. And then there's the like slightly edited. I didn't really edit anything inside. I just kind of added music and cut out before and after a little bit, which we will get to. But a very well-known leftist news channel covered my video because it was one of the only options. And so I had my like crazy starstruck moment where like I'm being played on someone's Twitch. Like we'll stick around. Okay, stick around. We're going to get to that. I've got a big spot on my forehead. So that happened. And I'm in a Japanese time zone. So like that happened in just one whole day. Now we did have a message left on James Somerton's channel. So this is just refreshing in case it's gone. Who knew? This is the actual remainder of James Somerton's YouTube channel. He's down to 254,000 subscribers. The comment reads, "Earlier tonight, I uploaded a video apologizing for what I've done, but it's become clear after hearing from several people that I am not in a healthy frame of mind to be posting anything online." We'll come back to that. "I only returned home from the hospital yesterday, so I should have never filmed it. I have deleted the video, but I'm sure that it's been downloaded and will be shared by others online." I'm others online. "I promise to apologize properly and in detail when I'm more mentally stable. Until then, no, I am sorry." So this I have a lot to say. For the first time, really, like, unabashedly, I'm going to give my personal opinion. It felt like, to me, in general, all overall, okay, taking everything into consideration, it felt slightly like James Somerton was seeing how much support was left for him with the Patreon thing, the Telos thing, comments and everything. He was just seeing how much, if any, people would still be there to support him. And I think the deletion coming shortly after came out of the fact that he realized that there was hardly anyone at all. Because the language he was using was very much only, it was hedging everything. It was very much a way of getting out of a problem. It wasn't actually apologizing and tackling the problem. He didn't say, I harmed these people, I stole from these people, I'm going to go back and make a list of everything I did wrong. He talked about the future. He talked about, I want to keep making videos. He talked about, I want to, put my Patreon back on. I'm going to cite going forward. And it's like a lot of people were, myself included, saying like, we don't care about the future. That's up to people. If they want to watch that, that's up to them. We care about you owning what you did in the past. So this comment to me kind of sealed that deal in as well for me, of making it feel like this was him doing what he can to reclaim his community, or what's left of it, and getting a bit of a shocking truth of like, no. Fool me once. So, but to this, it still has 382 likes. I did dislike it. Okay? I'm sorry. I am a human being. I don't like this comment. I just decided to like it. The tea. Okay, so we have the Hbomberguy Reddit is a fantastic place to get more information. People are posting updates, let's say. I don't think there's anything too new coming here, so we're going to skip past this because of time. So another thing, so this was, I don't think I can actually play it. That's a bit harsh, but The Surf TV. Does anyone, let me know in chat who knows Surf TV. I might have missed other members. No. Let me know in chat who's heard of Lance from the Surfs. Ring any bells, anyone? Thank you so much, Traveller Systems. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday, Merry Christmas, happy seasonal holiday for everyone. Love you all. Yeah, who's heard of the Surf Times? Ring any bells? So the Surf Times played my clip, a good 20 minutes of it, no less, on the beginning of yesterday's Twitch live stream, which I am so blessed and excited to see that. If any of you don't know, Lance is well big in the game, basically. Huge person in the game. Look at me just playing on their screen. I'll see if I can see how I lost my best friend. Respectfully, I don't care. I don't care if you lost your best friend because of this. Because you did something wrong and they stopped talking to you. Don't do something wrong then. In a parallel world, I haven't lost my best friend because I haven't done anything wrong enough for my best friend to stop talking to me. Okay, that's a very non-connected statement. And I don't want to be he's trying to get sympathy. Of course he is. This is what an apology is.
Doing well. Happy holidays to all of you who celebrated. Happy Festivus for the rest of us and all the other things that are happening. Start of the stream, we were watching Matriarch. Here's the link to the video if you want to go and give some follows and likes and thumbs ups and finish watching the hour and 17-minute review of the new James Somerton video, which, surprise, surprise, I have not seen. So I'm not very excited to watch it. I have seen what Jesse Gender wrote about it, and it does not sound great in terms of an apology, to say the least. But we'll.
So yeah, I'm famous. Yeah, I was just really proud and really happy in love. Anyway, so that was really fun. Thank you for shouting me out, Lance. If you ever do see this, I need to fix my hair. I think I just need to fix my hair. My hair is not doing the thing it needs to be doing. Okay, we're gonna live. We're gonna do more. Hold on, stay there. We're gonna sorry. What the hell, man? That is so unprofessional of me. Is that any better? Oh my god, I've lost you all. Okay. 100 people and I just went to do my hair. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so the Ace couple talked about their experience with James, and they donated to become executive producers of the channel of Telos Productions because they specifically wanted to use this money they had saved for the Ace community and for some Ace representation, which is an amazing, amazing thing. And so they donated 12,000 Canadian dollars to the sum that we've heard James Somerton had was 60,000 Canadian dollars. So a huge chunk, over a sixth of the initial fund. And so they talked about their experience and being eventually taken out the credits because they said that, this actually, the representation isn't that great, So yeah, I recommend watching that clip. It was really, really informative. I would love to get in touch with them. If anyone knows how, I'll reach out as well. But it would be great to chat to them. They have more ways you can listen to their podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Blue Sky. They're on as well, Tumblr, Twitter, and their website. So they're really growing in popularity even just from this, which is great. And they've had loads of episodes. They're very long running. So I will be checking them out. This is their website I had just prepared. So yeah, they were a lovely, lovely couple, people chatting in the podcast. It was so sad to hear firsthand, James's effect. I'm sorry, basically what they talk about, allegedly, is how at the time they donated this, they saw nothing from Telos Studios, and they also saw James move to a more expensive location, and there was this Twitter thread from Dan Olson, which you can follow if you click on this, and it talks about the expense of the cameras and stuff that James was buying, but not connected necessarily to Telos. So the allegations are basically that he has just used the money, and that's absolutely fraud at that point. Like, if that's true, that's like serious grounds to be looked into. So yeah, that's tea. Anyway, now we do have an updated statement from Nick. So Nick, in the apology, was very heavily spoken about. Such a linguist. He was heavily spoken about. Nick came up a lot, okay? And many were saying that James threw him under the bus. I think James has been doing that. I think James hired him to do that purposefully, because if you are plagiarizing to this extent, you know your time is up eventually. If he's any form of intelligent, he knows he can't do this forever. So he's thinking to himself, if I work with someone that's in on this, eventually when these problems come to a T, I can just blame it on him. Which we kind of... This coffee, by the way, the official matriarch type brand of coffee, farmed in Bali, Indonesia, and roasted here in Japan, sent from me, is delicious. I'm just plugging. Official statement. So the original statement that Nick had was the 6th of December, which we all remember. We were all there. So this is the new one. I'm going to read this out in full, because we all know that is what we want to hit. And then we will move on to the news. Then we're going to cover some clips. And then it's time to party for my birthday. Okay. Response released 21st of December 2023. Any recommendations for accents? No? Okay, sorry. I'll carry on. I would like to express my sincerest sympathy to the writers and creators who were harmed by the theft of their creative property, and the supporters who rightfully feel betrayed. So instantly, he has accepted that there has been a theft of creative property here. That one line is more powerful than the entirety of James Somerton's apology. Nick is done. Nick is like cutting ties. Let me be clear. I am unequivocally condemn acts of plagiarism. We have the P word. Canadian accent, Jordan Peterson. I can't do it. I can't do Peterson today. It's just not the vibe. It's not the vibe. Those woke plagiarizing. No, I just sound like an old man. Okay. The nature of my contributions to this YouTube channel were to editorialize and reflect upon a given piece of media. I can say with confidence that my independent contributions were authentically my own. However, I apologize for not taking a more active role to ensure the channel's body of work was authentic. In regard to the money raised to fund film projects through Telos Productions, so again, boom, straight away talking about Telos. These generous donations were made in good faith. As such, I believe they should be returned immediately. Oh no, that's it. I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like surfing on the waves of drama. And there's like this new John the Duncan video essay, which is about like being professional, being an intellectual, and then there's me like tea. But I mean, this is tea. This is tea. This is tea. Breathe, Louise, breathe. Imagine if I had a heart attack on my birthday on a live stream. I'd go down in history. Okay. These generous donations were made in good faith. As such, I believe they should be returned immediately and in full to all donors. I have never had access to the Indiegogo account nor any of its funds. Therefore, I can only trust that the account holder will do the right thing from here. The account holder. So I wonder who that is. Finally, I would like to outline what you can expect from me next. See, again, just clear, concise. He hasn't necessarily said I'm sorry yet, but you can hear by the tone and the context that this is a real apology. And that's an amazing thing. You don't have to say sorry to have an apology. I think I learned that recently. I think that's a fantastic thing. So anyway, 1, in the immediate future, I will be taking time off to reflect, process and learn from this incident. Mental health and well-being are paramount, and I hope anyone who is suffering will seek out professional support. 2, though my current employment remains uncertain, I am approaching this as an opportunity to invest in my personal writing projects. I'm looking forward to, reigniting my passion for fiction writing and investing my creative energy into new projects. I am excited to reconnect with the characters and stories from my first novel, Gentleman's Club, as well as continue to add to my overall body of work. Amazing. 3. I also hope for the opportunity to continue to foster the authentic connections I found within the queer community by creating a new space that explores, validates, and celebrates queer identity. It is my hope that my future contributions to queer art will help rekindle this sense of community. Yeah. I will be posting updates from about my works in progress via my website and social media channels in the coming months. Sincere regards, Nick Herrigot. So, Nick, they haven't talked about directly about wanting more money. They said the P word, plagiarism. They owned up that theft is bad. They talked about Telos Productions and the finances and returning the money. They did literally everything James didn't. And that's tea. I mean, good for Nick. I don't know my feelings of how much I think Nick was involved. I have my ideas. I really do. If you live with someone, I don't know. But equally, if they have been dragged into this, then I feel really bad for them. Does that make sense? If they have been brought into this, then I feel bad for them. Anyway, I think that's it for the toxic gossip train for now. I've already lost my voice. Can you hear it? It's already going. Oh my goodness. We have 116 of you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And please consider becoming a member, because we have our members only live stream at the end of this. It's going to be super fun.